Thanks, Luis, for making a figure so incredibly huge I can't spin it on my turntable. Oh, and also, it's incredible. Hello everyone, MMC Fan here, and welcome to another Marvel Movie Collection custom figurine review. This time round it's another custom from Luis, his first special edition, which is Vulture from Spider-Man Homecoming. So for those that aren't aware, Luis takes commissions through his Instagram business page and has released a stunning lineup of figures so far, with his most recent additions being Venom and the long-awaited Stan Lee, which both look incredible. They're expensive and they take a while to arrive, but they are always worth it when they do, and they're all among my favourite Marvel pieces in my entire collection. I love them to bits. They are all digitally sculpted by hand, then 3D printed in metallic resin, just like an Eagle Moss one, before being hand painted. Let's take a look at one of my favourite deliveries I've ever received, which is this stunning Vulture figure. So the figure is Vulture from Spider-Man Homecoming. It is the first special in Luis's range of custom figurines. The final model was announced in December 2020 and the final figures started to ship in May 2021. There was a little delay there due to the pandemic. It's in 1/16 scale, it's 15 centimeters tall and weighs 251 grams. It weighs a quarter of a kilo. It's a great piece. It's always best to message Luis directly if you want to talk about pricing, but I believe that this one was around 140, which is the most expensive piece that he's done so far, but for good reason when you see it. In terms of availability, I think at the time of posting this there is actually one left, but I've put it down as sold out because that one is not going to hang around for long. This has been a hugely popular piece from Luis. It doesn't mean he won't 100% make another batch in the future, but for now there's just one left, and people watching this a week later it's going to be sold out. So I've put sold out, and it would be crazy if you found one on eBay. There will never be one on eBay. If you got this model, you would never sell it. So I'm going to say that this one is super rare. I mean, where the hell do I start with this one? It's nothing short of absolutely incredible. This was not an easy character to recognize in figurine form. Doing him without the wings would have been weird and boring, but doing him with the wings was a logistical nightmare. But Luis has absolutely nailed the final version of this figurine, and the work that has gone into it is hugely evident. The sculpt is massively impressive. It's been 3D printed in a few pieces and then glued together, though you'd never know it. I'm not even sure where the glue lines are, but this, yeah, it's been put together brilliantly. Some Eagle Moss ones you can actually see where they've glued them, not with this one, and with something this big as well, that's really impressive. The sheer size of those wings has been fully realised. Nothing has been shrunk down to attempt to fit it in a certain box or anything like that. In fact, it even came in its own custom-made box, which really shows just how much care Luis puts into his work. The detail of the sculpt is outstanding. Looking at Toomes himself, that fur collar is awesome. The talons on his feet are great. He has these weapons in his hands. They look sweet. Everything is meticulously done down to the material look of his jacket. Like, you can tell that that's leather. There's buckles, everything. It's 100% movie accurate. There is nothing wrong here at all. He also has this great breathing tube, which starts at the front and then joins at the back of the model as well. I love that. And then looking at his wings, the layering of the mechanical parts just looks superb. And those two turbines, which actually have freaking gaps between each individual blade, they are the standouts for me. I have no idea how he produced those in this scale. They look incredible. They're even tilted ever so slightly, as they would be if he was taking off or landing, which is how the pose looks. I'm at a loss. It's absolutely brilliant. This level of detail continues onto the back as well. I wouldn't even have been able to tell you what the wings looked like from the back, like I have no idea, but Luis, he trawls through concept art and photography and it really shows. Brilliant here as well. Paintwork is impeccable all over, as you'd expect from a model of this cost. There's tons of weathering that's gone into all the mechanical parts, and it's not just shades of grey, but there's golds, there's greens, there's even some purples at the back there too. It makes it look so real, which is brilliant. Combine that with the flawless painting of Toomes himself, including those two piercing green eyes, which even glow in the dark. I mean, it's perfect. I love it. So much has gone into this thing. I don't have any nitpicks per se. The only thing really with this one is because that foot is raised, and it looks awesome like that, so I wouldn't have changed it, but because that foot is raised, there is a constant sense of panic that it will get damaged or it will get broken in some way. So I barely feel like I can ever handle it. Don't get me wrong, it's super sturdy and that leg connection on the base is going nowhere. But if something were to fall on it, or God forbid you were to drop it or something, this thing would be gone. But once you find a home for it and you can just enjoy how awesome it looks, it's a powerful piece. And having the wings as they are, it makes it very easy to display other characters alongside it, in front of it, without everything getting covered up. It's one of the favourite figures I own, hands down, and I think being scared to break it is there's nothing wrong with the figure. It's just how it feels when you finally have one in your hand. Here's Vulture alongside two of Luis's other MCU Spider-Man figures. Even as a trio, these look incredible together, not including Shocker and then the other Spider-Man suits that Luis has brought to the community. Thanks to Luis, my Spider-Man shelf is up there with my Endgame one, if not better. I think it's probably my favourite shelf that I have. And here he is alongside two of the larger Eagle Moss villains for comparison. As you can see, scale is consistent, as Toomes is human, so he's a little bit smaller than Ultron and Hela as a result, but his wings make him that much bigger, so it's perfectly in line with everything else we've had. Yeah, what more can I say? I mean, look at this thing. It is incredible. It is actually incredible. I think anyone that managed to get an order in, you are very, very lucky, and you're going to love this thing if you haven't got it already. And now's the part where I give it rankings out of 5, but it's 5 stars across the board. What else could I possibly give it for this? You know, the character choice is obviously superb. The design has been very well thought through. The likeness, the sculpt, everything looks absolutely perfect. The scale is great with Luis's work and with Eagle Moss's stuff as well. The paintwork is perfect all over, and the overall look, it's the coolest thing I have. It's great. You know, I would never dock a star for any of that. In terms of value, I think 140, it's definitely a premium price for something like this, and I would advise avoiding it unless you were happy to invest such an amount. And a lot of people are. If you compare it to Luis's smaller figs, though, they're kind of like 50, 60, 70. This is a good deal, as it's definitely got 3 or 4 times as much resin in it. So in that, compared to his other ones, it's actually quite good value, and you do get that custom box as well. I mean, how can I sum this up? Luis, your work continues to be amazing. Thank you for bringing it to the community, and thank you for sending it to me to review, because I love this thing. It is absolutely brilliant. This one easily comes in at number 1 on my ranking of custom figures. It was never going to be anywhere else. I mean, the other two on this chart are absolutely brilliant in their own right, but this is just another level. I don't know if this will ever be topped. Louis, feel free to prove me wrong, Luis, but I don't think that's ever going to be topped. As always, thanks for watching. You can get all the latest Marvel movie collection news and indeed custom Marvel movie collection news by following me on Instagram, Facebook, subscribing right here on YouTube, and joining the discussion in the Facebook group too. There is lots more custom content on the way really soon, but I'm not sure how my next review is going to get through all of that. Keep on collecting.